Welcome to my channel. Have you ever spent hours thinking about changing your life, starting something new, learning a skill, becoming confident, getting fit, studying harder, or chasing your dream, but at the end of the day, you did nothing? Your mind says, what if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I'm not good enough? And slowly, overthinking steals your confidence, your time, and your future. But today, you will learn why action is more powerful than perfect thinking, how successful people stop fear from controlling them, and how you can train your mind to finally start doing instead of just dreaming. Comment below, I will start today if you are ready to stop overthinking and take action. Also, the exercise link is given in the description. Chapter 1, The Dangerous Trap of Overthinking. Every day, thousands of people wake up with big dreams in their hearts. They want to change their life. They want to become confident. They want success. They want respect. They want peace. Maybe you also want these things. Maybe you tell yourself every night that tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you will finally start studying seriously. Tomorrow you will start exercising. Tomorrow you will practice English. Tomorrow you will work on your dream, but then tomorrow comes and nothing changes. You sit with your thoughts for hours. You think about your future. You imagine a better life. You plan everything in your mind, but at the end of the day you still feel stuck. Deep inside, you know you are wasting time, but somehow you still cannot move. And the worst part is this. Nobody around you can see this fight happening inside your mind. People only see you sitting quietly. But inside, your mind is loud, very loud. You are not alone in this. So many people are trapped in overthinking right now. They want to start, but fear stops them. They want to speak, but doubt controls them. They want to take action, but their mind keeps creating problems before they even begin. Your mind says, what if I fail? Then another thought comes. What if people laugh at me? Then another one. What if I'm not talented enough? Slowly, these thoughts become stronger than your dreams. And this is dangerous, because overthinking looks harmless at first. It feels like you are preparing. It feels like you're being careful. But in reality, overthinking steals your confidence little by little. It steals your energy, it steals your courage, and most importantly, it steals your time. Think about this carefully. How many times did you wait for the perfect moment? How many times did you delay your goals because you did not feel ready? How many opportunities disappeared while you were thinking too much? This is how dreams quietly die. Not because people are weak, not because they are stupid, but because they never start. Some people spend years planning their future, but never take one real step forward. They watch motivational videos every day. They save inspiring quotes. They imagine success in their mind, but their real life never changes because thinking alone changes nothing. You can think about swimming all day, but until you enter the water, you will never learn. Life works the same way. Your brain often tricks you into believing that thinking is progress. But thinking without action becomes a prison. The more you think, the more scared you become. The more scared you become, the more you delay. And the more you delay, the more difficult the first step feels. That is why many people feel mentally tired even when they did nothing all day. Overthinking drains energy. It creates stress without results. It fills the mind with fear about problems that may never even happen. Sometimes you create a failure in your mind before you even try. You imagine people judging you, you imagine embarrassment, you imagine rejection, you imagine mistakes, and because of these imaginary situations, you stop yourself before life even tests you. This is not living. This is hiding. Look at children for a moment. When a child learns to walk, they fall again and again. But they do not sit in the corner thinking, maybe walking is not for me. They simply stand up and try again. That is why they learn so fast. They are not trapped in overthinking. But as people grow older, fear enters the mind. Slowly, people become afraid of looking foolish. They become afraid of making mistakes. They become afraid of failure. And because of that fear, they stop growing. Many people are waiting to feel confident before taking action. But confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after action. Read that again inside your mind. Confidence comes after action. The people you admire today were once beginners too. They were nervous too. They were scared too, but they moved anyway. That movement changed everything. Imagine two people. The first person keeps waiting, waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment. Years pass, but their life stays the same. The second person also feels afraid, but they decide to start small. They make mistakes. They feel uncomfortable. Sometimes they fail, but slowly they improve. Slowly they become stronger. 1 year later, their life looks completely different. What created the difference? Not intelligence, not luck, not talent. Action. Small action repeated again and again. Most people think successful people never feel fear. That is not true. Successful people simply do not allow fear to control their decisions. Your future depends on one important choice. Will you continue listening to fear, or will you finally take action despite fear? Because the truth is simple. Your life cannot change if your actions never change. You cannot become confident by only thinking. You cannot become successful by only dreaming. You cannot build a better future while staying trapped inside your comfort zone. At some point, thinking must end. Action must begin, right now. There are probably goals inside your heart that you have delayed for months or maybe years. Deep inside, you already know what you should do. Maybe it is studying harder. Maybe it is improving your English. Maybe it is starting a business. Maybe it is taking care of your health. Maybe it is following a dream you stopped believing in. The problem is not that you do not know what to do. The problem is that fear has become stronger than action, but this can change, and it starts with understanding one powerful truth. You do not need to feel ready to begin. Nobody feels fully ready. People become ready by starting. The moment you take one real step, something changes inside you. Your mind slowly realizes that action is not as dangerous as fear made it look. Slowly, courage begins to grow. That first step may look small, but small steps create massive change over time. Right now, your future is watching your present decisions. Every day you delay, life keeps moving. Time never stops. And one day, if you're not careful, you may wake up with regret. Regret is painful because it comes from knowing you could have tried but did not. Failure hurts for some time, but regret can hurt for life. So do not let overthinking destroy your future silently. Do not spend your whole life preparing to live. Start living, start moving, start trying. Even if you feel scared, even if you feel imperfect, even if you feel uncertain, because action has power that overthinking will never have. And now an important question comes. If overthinking is hurting so many people, then why does the human mind keep doing it again and again? Chapter 2. Why your mind keeps stopping you. Have you ever noticed something strange? Sometimes you truly want to change your life. You feel excited. You feel motivated. You promise yourself that this time will be different. But after 1 or 2 days, your energy disappears. Suddenly your mind starts giving excuses again. I will start tomorrow. I need more time. Maybe this is not the right moment. Slowly you return to old habits again. Then guilt enters your heart. You feel disappointed in yourself. You ask yourself, why am I like this? The answer is deeper than you think. Most people believe they are lazy, but many times, laziness is not the real problem. Fear is the real problem. Your mind is trying to protect you from pain, embarrassment, rejection, and failure. That is why your brain often stops you before you even begin. Think about learning English. Many people want to speak confidently. They watch videos, they learn grammar, they understand many words. But when it is time to speak in front of others, fear suddenly appears. Their heart beats faster. Their mind becomes blank. They worry people will laugh at their mistakes, so they stay silent. Not because they cannot speak, but because fear controls them. The same thing happens in every area of life. Someone wants to start a YouTube channel, but they think, what if nobody watches my videos? Someone wants to go to the gym, but they think, what if people judge my body? Someone wants to start a business, but they think, what if I lose money? Someone wants to follow a dream, but they think, what if I fail? These thoughts look small, but they become chains inside the mind. Slowly, fear creates a prison without walls. Your brain loves comfort. Comfort feels safe. The brain wants to protect you from anything new or difficult. That is why your mind prefers watching videos instead of working hard. It prefers sleeping instead of waking up early. It prefers dreaming instead of doing. The human brain always chooses what feels easy in the moment, even if it destroys the future. That is why so many people stay stuck for years. They wait for a magical moment where everything feels perfect. They think successful people always feel confident and motivated. But that is not true at all. Even successful people feel fear. Even successful people feel doubt. The difference is simple: they act anyway. Your mind creates excuses because excuses protect comfort. And comfort feels good for a short time, but comfort slowly becomes dangerous. A comfortable life without growth becomes painful after some time. Deep inside, you know you are capable of more. That is why ignoring your dreams creates sadness in the heart. Maybe you already know this feeling. You see other people improving their life while you stay in the same place. You compare yourself with others online. You wonder why everybody seems confident, successful, and happy while you feel lost and confused. But remember something important. Social media only shows the highlights of people's lives. It hides the struggle, fear, stress, and failure behind success. Many people look confident outside while fighting battles inside their mind every single day. You are not weak because you feel afraid. You are human. But you must understand one thing clearly. Fear becomes stronger when you obey it repeatedly. Every time you avoid action, your brain learns that fear is powerful. Every time you run away from discomfort, your confidence becomes smaller. Slowly, your comfort zone becomes your prison. That is why overthinking grows bigger with time. The longer you delay something, the more difficult it feels in your mind. Think about making a phone call you're nervous about. Before the call, your mind creates hundreds of negative situations. But after the call ends, you often realize it was not as scary as you imagined. Life works like that many times. The mind exaggerates fear. Another big reason people stay stuck is perfectionism. Many people secretly believe they must start perfectly. They want perfect skills, perfect confidence, perfect timing, and perfect results. But perfection does not exist. The first video will not be perfect. The first speech will not be perfect. The first attempt will not be perfect. And that is completely normal. Every expert was once a beginner who made mistakes. Sadly, many people never improve because they are too busy trying to avoid mistakes. They do not understand that mistakes are part of growth. Imagine a person learning to ride a bicycle. If they refuse to fall, they will never learn balance. In the same way, if you refuse to fail, you will never grow. Sometimes the mind also stops people because of old experiences. Maybe someone laughed at you in the past. Maybe someone criticized your dreams. Maybe you failed before. Painful memories can create fear inside the mind. Slowly, you start doubting yourself. You stop believing in your abilities. But your past does not decide your future. One failure does not define your life. One mistake does not make you useless. Many successful people failed many times before winning. The difference is they did not stop. Another dangerous habit is waiting for motivation. This destroys so many dreams. People think motivation will suddenly appear one morning and change everything. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel motivated, other days you feel tired, stressed, and lazy. If you only work when motivation appears, you will never stay consistent. Real growth begins when you take action, even without motivation. That is called discipline. Discipline means doing what is necessary even when feelings try to stop you. And honestly, this is where most people lose the battle. They listen to feelings too much. I do not feel ready. I do not feel confident. I do not feel motivated. But successful people understand something powerful. Feelings change every day. Goals require consistency, not perfect emotions. Imagine a farmer planting seeds. The farmer cannot say, "Today I do not feel like watering the plants." If they stop caring for the plants, nothing will grow. Your future works the same way. Small daily actions create success, not excuses, not waiting, not overthinking. Many people are destroying their future while trying to protect their temporary comfort. They avoid discomfort today, but create regret tomorrow. And regret is heavy, very heavy. There are people right now who wish they had started years ago. They wish they had taken action when they were younger. They wish they had believed in themselves earlier. But time never returns. That is why today matters. Not tomorrow, not next year, today. Even one small action today is more powerful than 1,000 perfect plans inside your mind. Your brain will continue creating fear. That is normal. But you do not have to obey every fearful thought. Thoughts are not commands. Fear is not destiny. And now another important question appears. If motivation is not enough and fear keeps returning, then what actually helps people move forward consistently and finally change their life? Chapter 3. Small actions change everything. Most people want big changes very fast. They want instant success, instant confidence, instant transformation. They want to wake up one morning and suddenly become disciplined, successful, fit, smart, and fearless. But life does not work like that. Real change happens slowly, very slowly. And this is where many people quit too early. They start with huge excitement. They create big goals. They make perfect plans. They tell themselves, from tomorrow, my whole life will change. But after a few days, they feel tired. The pressure becomes too heavy. Their motivation disappears. Then they stop completely. This cycle repeats again and again. Start, feel excited, feel overwhelmed, quit, feel guilty, then start again. This is one of the biggest traps in life. People fail because they try to change everything at once. Your mind becomes scared when goals look too big. Imagine standing in front of a giant mountain. Immediately your brain says, "This is impossible." That is exactly what happens when you create unrealistic expectations for yourself. But successful people understand something very important. Big success is built from very small actions. Small actions look weak in the beginning. They look unimportant. But over time, they become powerful. Very powerful. Think about water falling on a rock. One drop looks harmless, but after years, even water can shape stone. Consistency creates strength. The same thing happens in your life. Reading one page daily may not look impressive, but after 1 year, you may finish many books. Practicing English for 10 minutes daily may feel small, but after 1 year, your speaking can completely improve. Walking for 15 minutes daily may not feel life-changing, but after months, your body and mind become healthier. Small actions change identity. This is the secret many people never understand. A person who studies daily becomes a learner. A person who exercises regularly becomes healthier. A person who practices speaking becomes confident. Your habits slowly shape your future. Many people wait for huge motivation before taking action. But small actions are more important than huge motivation. Why? Because small actions are easier to repeat, and repetition creates results. Imagine trying to push a heavy car. In the beginning, it feels impossible. The car does not move. Your body feels weak. You feel frustrated. But slowly, the car begins moving little by little. Then something interesting happens. Once the car gains momentum, pushing becomes easier. Life works exactly the same way. Starting feels difficult. Continuing becomes easier. But most people quit before momentum begins. That is why the hardest step in life is often the first step, the first workout, the first video, the first conversation in English, the first attempt, the first day. After that, things slowly become easier because action creates momentum. Many people think successful people are special, but often successful people simply learned how to stay consistent when others quit. Look around carefully. Most people are waiting for the perfect moment. Very few people are taking action daily. That is why consistency alone can make you different from most people. Even small progress matters. Never laugh at small beginnings. A small seed becomes a giant tree one day, but growth needs time. One of the biggest mistakes people make is comparing their chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. They see successful people online and feel discouraged. They think, I can never become like them. But they forget something important. Those people also started small. They were beginners too. They made mistakes too. Nobody starts as an expert. Imagine watching a baby learning to write. The handwriting looks messy at first, but slowly, with practice, it improves. Nobody expects perfection from the beginning. Then why do adults expect perfection from themselves immediately? Growth takes patience. And patience is difficult in today's world. Everybody wants quick results. Social media makes people impatient. People see success clips every day, but they do not see the years of hard work behind them. This creates unrealistic expectations. Someone starts learning English for 1 week and expects fluency. Someone goes to the gym for 10 days and expects a perfect body. Someone uploads 2 videos and expects millions of subscribers. When results do not come quickly, they become disappointed and quit. But success is not magic. Success is repetition. It is showing up again and again even when progress looks small. This is where discipline becomes powerful. Discipline means continuing even when excitement disappears. Because honestly, motivation is temporary. Some mornings you will feel energetic. Other mornings you will feel lazy and tired. If you depend only on feelings, your progress will stop again and again. But small habits remove pressure. Instead of saying, I will study for 5 hours, start with 20 minutes. Instead of saying, I will completely change my life today, focus on one simple improvement. One step is enough. Right now, many viewers are probably overthinking their entire future. They want answers for everything. But life becomes easier when you focus only on the next small step, not the next 10 years, not the entire journey, just the next step. That is how mountains are climbed. One step at a time. Another important thing is reducing distractions. Modern life is full of distractions. Notifications, social media, endless scrolling, entertainment everywhere. These things destroy focus slowly. Many people waste hours online without realizing it. Then at night, regret enters their heart. They know they wasted another day. That feeling hurts. But here is the good news. Your life can start changing very quickly when your daily actions change. Even one productive hour daily can transform your future over time. Small actions may look invisible today, but after months and years, the results become impossible to ignore. Think about planting seeds. When seeds are planted, Nothing appears immediately. For some time, it looks like nothing is happening, but underground, growth is already beginning. Your efforts work the same way. Even when progress feels slow, change is happening inside you. Skills are improving. Confidence is growing. Discipline is becoming stronger. Never stop because results are delayed. Sometimes your biggest growth is invisible at first, and remember this carefully. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You only need to keep moving. Slow progress is still progress. Tiny improvement is still improvement. The person who keeps going will always defeat the person who keeps waiting. One small action today can become a completely different life tomorrow. But now another fear enters the minds of many people. What if I try and still fail? That fear stops millions of dreams every year. So now it is time to understand something that can completely change your relationship with failure forever. Chapter 4: Failure is not the enemy. Failure is one of the biggest fears in human life. So many people stay stuck because they are terrified of failing. They think failure will embarrass them. They think people will judge them. They think one mistake will destroy everything. Because of this fear, they choose safety instead of growth. They stay inside their comfort zone and slowly watch their dreams disappear. But here's the truth: most people never understand. Failure is not the enemy. Doing nothing is the real enemy. Think about it carefully. What is worse? Trying and failing for some time, or spending your whole life wondering what could have happened if you had tried? Deep inside, most people already know the answer. Regret hurts more than failure. Failure feels painful in the moment. Nobody enjoys making mistakes. Nobody enjoys rejection. Nobody enjoys feeling weak or embarrassed. But failure also teaches lessons that success can never teach. Every successful person you admire failed many times before winning. A child fails hundreds of times before learning to walk. A student makes mistakes before becoming smart. An athlete loses many games before becoming strong. A speaker feels nervous before becoming confident. Growth always looks ugly in the beginning. But social media hides this reality. People only show success. They show money, confidence, achievements, and perfect moments. They do not show the nights of fear, stress, rejection, self-doubt, and failure behind those achievements. This creates a dangerous illusion. It makes ordinary people believe successful people never struggled. That is completely false. Many famous people were rejected before becoming successful. Many business owners lost money before building successful companies. Many great speakers once felt terrified speaking in front of people. Many fluent English speakers once struggled with basic sentences. Nobody starts strong. People become strong through struggle, and struggle always includes failure. The problem is not failure itself. The problem is how people think about failure. Most people treat failure like proof that they are useless. One mistake happens, and immediately they say, "I am not good enough." One rejection happens, and they stop believing in themselves. One bad experience happens, and they give up completely. But failure is not a message that says stop. Failure is feedback. Failure teaches you what works and what does not work. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. If you fall once and decide never to try again, you will never learn balance. Falling is part of learning. In the same way, mistakes are part of success. Nobody becomes skilled without looking foolish in the beginning. That is impossible. Sometimes people laugh at beginners. Sometimes people criticize your efforts. Sometimes people doubt your dreams. But remember something important. Most people who laugh at others are too afraid to chase their own dreams. Do not let fearful people control your future. Many viewers watching this video are secretly afraid of judgment. They worry too much about what others will think. But honestly, people are already busy with their own problems. Most people are not thinking about you as much as you imagine. And even if somebody judges you, so what? People judge successful people too. People criticize winners too. No matter what you do in life, somebody will always have an opinion. So it is better to build your future than waste your life trying to please everyone. Another important thing you must understand is this: failure is temporary. Quitting makes failure permanent. Read that again slowly inside your mind. Failure is temporary. Quitting makes failure permanent. This one idea can completely change your life. A person who keeps trying can improve. A person who quits guarantees defeat. Many people fail once and think the journey is over. But successful people understand that one bad moment does not decide the entire future. Imagine a movie stopping after one sad scene. That would make no sense. The story continues. The hero continues in the same way. Your life continues after failure too. One mistake cannot define your future unless you allow it to. Sometimes failure even protects people from the wrong path. Sometimes rejection pushes people towards something greater. Many successful people later realize their failures were actually lessons preparing them for better opportunities. Life often makes sense only when looking backward, but in painful moments, people lose patience. They think temporary pain will last forever. It will not. You are stronger than one bad experience. You are stronger than one rejection. You are stronger than one mistake. Another reason failure feels so painful is because people attach their identity to results. When they fail, they think they are failures. But failing at something does not make you a failure as a person. If a baby falls while learning to walk, nobody says, "This baby is a failure." Everybody understands learning takes time. Then why are adults so cruel to themselves? Why do people expect perfection immediately? Growth requires patience, and patience becomes easier when you understand that mistakes are normal. Very normal. In fact, mistakes are proof that you are trying. People who never fail usually never challenge themselves. They stay comfortable. They avoid risk. They avoid growth. But people who grow stronger are willing to look imperfect for some time. That is courage. Courage does not mean feeling no fear. Courage means moving forward despite fear. Think about your own life right now. Maybe there is something you want to do, but fear keeps stopping you. Maybe you want to improve your English. Maybe you want to start creating content. Maybe you want to follow a dream secretly hidden in your heart. Now imagine yourself years from today. Imagine being older and realizing you never tried because you were scared. That feeling is painful, very painful. Time moves fast, faster than most people realize. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 year. Suddenly, life changes. Do not allow fear to steal years from your future. Because the truth is simple. Fear does not disappear by thinking. Fear disappears through experience. The first step feels scary. The second step feels easier. The third step creates confidence. Action slowly teaches the brain that you can survive discomfort. This is how people become fearless, not by avoiding fear, but by facing it repeatedly. Every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are standing now, confused, nervous, uncertain, afraid. The difference is they acted anyway, and that action slowly transformed their life. So stop seeing failure as something shameful. Failure is part of growth. Failure is part of learning. Failure is part of success. The only people who never fail are the people who never try. And now comes another important challenge. Even after understanding failure, people still struggle with negative thoughts every single day. The mind becomes distracted. Fear returns, laziness returns, doubt returns. So the next step is learning how to train your mind instead of allowing your mind to control you. Chapter 5, Train Your Mind Like a Warrior. Your mind is powerful, very powerful. It can build your future or destroy your future. It can make you strong or make you weak. It can push you forward or keep you trapped in the same place for years. That is why learning to control your mind is one of the most important skills in life. Most people do not realize this, but they are training their mind every single day. The problem is they are training it in the wrong direction. Every day they repeat negative thoughts again and again. I am not good enough. I always fail. I cannot do this. My life will never change. Slowly, these thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs control actions. If you believe you are weak, you will avoid challenges. If you believe you will fail, you will stop trying. If you believe nothing can change, you will stay stuck. This is how negative thinking silently destroys confidence. Your mind listens to what you repeat daily. That is why people who constantly complain become more negative over time. And people who constantly focus on growth become mentally stronger. The brain works like a garden. If you do not remove negative thoughts, they grow like weeds. Slowly they take control of everything. Many viewers watching this video are fighting silent battles inside their mind. Nobody around them knows how much stress they carry every day. They smile outside but feel tired inside. They want to improve their life, but negative thoughts keep pulling them backward. And honestly, this mental battle is exhausting. Sometimes your own mind becomes your biggest enemy. You want to move forward, but your thoughts keep saying, "What is the point?" You want to try again, but your mind reminds you of old failures. You want confidence, but your inner voice keeps criticizing you. This is why mental discipline matters. Successful people are not successful because they never feel doubt. They become successful because they do not allow doubt to control their actions. There is a huge difference. Your feelings are temporary. Your actions create your future. Many people wait to feel positive before taking action, but positive feelings often come after action, not before it. This is why discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation changes every day. Discipline keeps moving forward. Think about going to the gym. Some days you feel excited, other days you feel lazy. If you only exercise when motivation appears, you will stop quickly. But disciplined people continue even when they do not feel like it. This is what makes them stronger, and this rule applies to every part of life: studying, learning English, building a business, creating content, improving health. Everything depends on consistency. Your future is created by what you repeat daily, not once, not twice, daily. That is why small habits are so important. Many people think huge success comes from one big moment, but most success actually comes from small daily decisions nobody notices: waking up earlier, practicing for 30 minutes, reading instead of scrolling, working while others waste time. These small actions look ordinary, but over time they create extraordinary results. Sadly, modern life is full of distractions. Phones, notifications, endless videos, social media, comparison, entertainment. Every day, people lose hours without realizing it. Then at night, they feel regret. They wonder why life is not changing, but success cannot grow in a distracted mind. Your attention is valuable. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. If your energy goes toward distractions all day, your goals become weak. This is why protecting your focus is important. You do not need to completely disappear from the world, but you must learn self-control. Sometimes you must say no to comfort, no to laziness, no to wasting time, no to excuses, because every hour matters. Life is moving whether you are improving or not. One dangerous habit many people have is constantly comparing themselves with others online. This destroys peace of mind. You see someone successful, confident, rich, or talented, and suddenly you feel behind in life. But comparison is unfair. You are comparing your real life to somebody else's best moments. You do not know their struggles. You do not know their pain. You do not know how many years they suffered before reaching success. Stop focusing so much on other people's journey. Focus on your own growth. Even small improvement matters. If you are better than yesterday, you are already moving forward. Another important thing is your environment. The people around you affect your mindset more than you realize. Negative people spread fear, they complain constantly, they discourage dreams, they laugh at ambition. Slowly their mindset becomes contagious. That is why strong people protect their energy carefully. Spend more time with people who inspire growth, people who motivate you, people who believe improvement is possible. And if nobody around you supports your dreams, then become your own supporter. Encourage yourself. Believe in yourself. Speak positively to yourself, because your inner voice matters. The way you talk to yourself becomes the way you see yourself. Imagine hearing negative insults every single day for years. Eventually, anybody would feel weak. Many people do this to themselves mentally. Stop attacking yourself. You are growing. You are learning. You are improving. Growth takes time. Another important truth is this. Discipline feels hard at first, but regret feels much harder later. Waking up early feels difficult. Exercising feels difficult. Studying feels difficult. Practicing feels difficult. But living with regret is even more painful. Many people choose easy comfort now and painful regret later. Strong people choose temporary discomfort for long-term happiness. That is the difference. Your future depends on what you choose repeatedly. Every day your habits are shaping the person you are becoming. If you continue delaying action, your future will remain the same. But if you begin controlling your mind little by little, your entire life can change. And remember something very important. You do not need to control every thought perfectly. Negative thoughts will still come sometimes. Fear will still appear sometimes. Doubt will still return sometimes. That is normal. The goal is not becoming perfect. The goal is learning not to obey every negative thought. You can feel fear and still take action. You can feel doubt and still move forward. You can feel tired and still stay disciplined. That is real mental strength. A warrior is not somebody who never feels pain. A warrior is somebody who keeps moving despite pain. And deep inside, you are stronger than you think. Right now, your future is being built by your daily habits, thoughts, and actions. Slowly, quietly, every single day. The question is simple. Are your daily actions building the life you want or destroying it? Because one powerful truth changes everything. Confidence is not created by thinking about success. Confidence is created by action, and that is exactly what we must understand next. Chapter 6. Confidence comes after action. One of the biggest lies people believe is this: I will start when I feel confident. This sounds logical at first, but it destroys dreams every single day. People wait for confidence before taking action. But confidence does not appear magically. Confidence is built through experience. Think about the first time you tried something difficult. Maybe speaking English in front of others. Maybe giving a presentation. Maybe talking to strangers. Maybe recording your voice or video. Your heart probably beat fast. Your hands felt nervous. Your mind became full of fear. That feeling is normal. Every confident person you see today once felt the same fear. But most people never see the beginning stage of success. They only see the final result. They see confident speakers, successful creators, strong leaders, and fluent English speakers. Then they think they are naturally confident. No, they became confident through action. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Imagine someone learning to swim. The first day in the water feels scary. The body feels uncomfortable. Fear enters the mind immediately. But after practicing again and again, the fear slowly decreases. Why? Because the brain learns through experience. The same thing happens in life. The brain stops fearing things that become familiar. That is why action is so powerful. Every time you face fear and survive, your mind learns something important. I can do this. Slowly, courage grows. Many people are secretly waiting for fear to disappear completely before starting. But fear rarely disappears in the beginning. In fact, fear often stays there while you are growing. The difference is successful people do not let fear control their decisions. Think about this carefully. If confidence came before action, then nobody would ever feel nervous in the beginning. But almost everybody feels nervous before doing something new. Even experienced people still feel fear sometimes. The difference is they no longer run away from it. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is trusting yourself enough to move forward despite fear. This changes everything right now. Many viewers are probably doubting themselves. Maybe you compare yourself with others every day. Maybe you see talented people online and feel small. Maybe you think you started too late. Maybe you think you're not smart enough, attractive enough, talented enough, or good enough. These thoughts are painful, but they are also dangerous because comparison slowly destroys self-belief. You must understand something clearly. You are comparing your beginning to somebody else's middle or ending. That is unfair. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once struggled with fear. Every fluent English speaker once made basic mistakes. Every successful creator once had 0 viewers. Nobody starts ahead. People improve through repetition. Imagine going to the gym for the first time. You cannot expect a powerful body after one workout. Growth happens slowly. In the same way, confidence grows little by little every time you take action. One conversation builds confidence. One video builds confidence. One attempt builds confidence. One challenge builds confidence. Small victories matter. Sadly, many people ignore their progress because they focus too much on perfection. They think, I am still not good enough. But they forget how far they already came. Maybe today you're stronger than last year. Maybe today you understand more English than before. Maybe today you are braver than your past self. That matters. Growth is not always loud and dramatic. Sometimes growth is quiet. Sometimes it happens slowly inside you without immediate results. But every step counts. Another important thing is accepting imperfection. Many people delay action because they want everything perfect before beginning. Perfect skills, perfect confidence, perfect timing. Perfect plans. But perfection is impossible. The first attempt will look messy. The first video may feel awkward. The first speech may contain mistakes. The first step may feel uncomfortable. That is part of growth. Do not let imperfections stop your future. Nobody laughs at a child for learning slowly. Then, why do adults become so ashamed of being beginners? Being a beginner is not weakness. Staying stuck forever because of fear is the real danger. Sometimes people avoid challenges because they want to protect their ego. They want to avoid embarrassment. But protecting your ego can quietly destroy your growth. Growth requires humility. Growth requires patience. Growth requires accepting that you will not be amazing immediately. And honestly, that is okay, because improvement is more important than perfection. Many successful people became successful simply because they kept going while others quit too early. They accepted the uncomfortable beginner stage and continued practicing until confidence naturally developed. That is the secret. Confidence is earned, not imagined. Action teaches the brain that survival is possible. Every time you face discomfort, your fear becomes weaker. Slowly, your comfort zone expands. Things that once terrified you start feeling normal. This is how transformation happens, not overnight, but daily. Imagine 2 different futures. In one future, a person keeps waiting forever, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until fear disappears. Years pass, but nothing changes. Their dreams remain dreams. In the second future, a person starts despite fear. They feel nervous, but they continue. They make mistakes, but they learn. Slowly, they become skilled. Slowly, they become stronger. 1 year later, their life looks completely different. Both people felt fear, but only one person acted. That action changed everything. And this is important to understand. Your future confidence is hidden inside today's uncomfortable actions. Every challenge you avoid keeps you weak. Every challenge you face makes you stronger. So stop asking yourself, what if I fail? Start asking yourself, what if this changes my life? Because it can. One small, brave decision can completely change your direction. One action can create momentum. One moment of courage can open opportunities you never imagined. And remember this: nobody becomes confident by hiding from life. Confidence is built by participating in life, by trying, by failing, by learning, by continuing. The strongest people are not people who never felt fear. They are people who refuse to surrender to fear. Right now, there is probably something you know you should start. Deep inside, your heart already knows. The question is no longer whether you are capable. The real question is this: how long will you continue waiting before finally giving yourself a chance? Because life is moving fast, and the people who change their future are usually not the smartest people in the room. They are the people brave enough to begin. Now only one final step remains: a decision. A real decision that can completely change the direction of your life starting today. Chapter 7. Start today before it is too late. Life feels long when you are young. You think you have so much time. You think you will start later. You think you will change someday. But slowly time moves faster than you expect. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And one day you look back and realize you are still thinking the same thoughts you had years ago, but your life has not changed. This is the silent truth many people do not talk about. Regret does not come from failure. Regret comes from not trying, from not starting, from waiting too long for the perfect moment that never comes. Right now, you may be watching this and thinking about your own life. You may have dreams you keep delaying. You may have goals you keep postponing. You may have ideas you never acted on. And every time you delay, it feels small. Just one more day. Just one more week. Just a little more time. But these small delays slowly turn into a big distance between you and the life you want. The truth is simple. There is never a perfect time. There is never a perfect moment. There is never a perfect version of you waiting in the future. The only version of you that can change your life is the one you are right now. Many people think they need more confidence before starting. Some think they need more knowledge. Some think they need better conditions. But life does not wait for perfect conditions. Life responds to action, not thinking. Look at your past. How many times did you say, "I will start tomorrow," and tomorrow never came? How many times did you plan something but never executed it? This is not because you are incapable. It is because your mind keeps choosing comfort over change. Comfort feels safe, but comfort can also become a cage that looks soft from the inside but slowly stops your growth. Now imagine something important. Imagine your future self sitting somewhere years from now. That version of you is looking back at today. What would they want you to do right now? They would not ask you to think more. They would not ask you to plan more. They would ask you to start even in a small way, because everything changes with the first step. Not the perfect step, just the first step. You do not need to change your entire life in one day. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You only need to begin. Small actions are enough. A small study session, a short workout, a few lines of English practice. One idea written down. One attempt. One effort. That is how transformation begins, and something powerful happens when you start. Your mind begins to shift. Fear does not disappear instantly, but it becomes weaker. Doubt does not vanish immediately, but it loses control. Action slowly replaces overthinking, and with action, confidence starts to grow. Many people are waiting for motivation to push them forward, but motivation is not stable, it comes and goes. What stays is discipline, and discipline begins with a decision to act even when you do not feel like it. Right now, you are standing at a very important point in your life. One direction leads to the same routine, same thoughts, same delays, same regrets. The other direction leads to discomfort at first, but growth later. Confidence later. A better life later. The difference between these two paths is not talent. It is not luck. It is not background. It is action. Even successful people were once exactly where you are. They also felt fear. They also doubted themselves. They also thought they were not ready. But at some point, they decided to move anyway. That one decision changed everything. So the question is not whether you can change your life. The question is whether you will finally take that first step. Because time will pass no matter what. But how you use it will decide your future. Now listen carefully. You do not need to wait for a new version of yourself. You do not need to wait for a better moment. You do not need to wait for everything to feel easy. You only need to start where you are. Even if it is small. Even if it is imperfect. Even if it feels uncomfortable. Start anyway. Because the people who win in life are not the ones who think the most. They are the ones who act while others are still thinking. And one day, you will thank yourself for not giving up on that first step. Now, before you go, here is something important. If this video made you realize that overthinking has been holding you back, then do not keep this feeling inside your mind only. Take action right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I will start today. Tell me one thing you will do after watching this video, even if it is a small step. Remember this always. Your life does not change when you think more. Your life changes when you start doing more.